Here is one of the hoses I've made. This is to go from the compressor through the in the engine bay, as it happens, and through to the firewall onto the inside of the car. Now it does come with special fittings, which I have put on and crimped the hose, and the same this end. This one goes on the compressor because it has the low port on it. This goes through the firewall, comes with a nice little rubber ring to seal it. The reason I chose to go through the engine bay rather than underneath the inner wing, as there was a hole already there, right next to where the steering column would be if it was a left-hand drive, which it isn't, fortunately. So the easiest thing to do was to utilise that, and besides, bending this rubber hose is not easy. You can't do sharp corners with it. So, for various reasons, I also happened to have another air conditioning hose, and I had no clue what it was from, but it had this heat shield on it. Well, as I'm going past the exhaust, I thought, well, I'll put that on there as well. Makes it look kind of professional. Do note, when I'm putting these fittings together, where the rubber seals are, I am slathering them them in pag oil. It really doesn't matter what number it is. It's just to make sure that the seal gets the best chance to survive. That's assuming my crimping is good. Guess we'll find out. Okay, here's the hose here, and as you can see, down there is the hose, and it goes up and through the wall right next to that black plug. And then on the inside, comes through just there. Oh, just going to push that back, put on the connector, run the AC line across the bottom, connect it up to to that other side, and that's a big ass hose as well. So I'm going to make that hose up now. Right, here's the dryer here. I've got a switch to go on there yet. I'm waiting for that to arrive. It's called a trinary switch, and that's so that the fan comes on when the compressor comes on. The pipe here, I might just try and swing it over a little bit more. I'm not sure yet. I'm certainly going to clip it. I've got the wires here. This wire has to come into this harness here, follow through, which is this lot here, which is for the fan, and then go through the firewall here, or the wheel well, and somehow seal it up and try and protect it a little bit. Not sure yet how I'm going to do that, maybe just a shield. The same here, I will be making a shield that kind of covers here somehow, like a shroud over the top and a shroud here, so that it doesn't get absolutely hammered by stones coming off the wheels. It's nice and clean under here at the moment. That won't last. Pity, but it won't. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can twist that pipe a little more before I cut it off and put in the one that goes through the wheel well. Right, that's where it's going to go. That will actually be at that angle there, so that when this pipe comes up, they will fit nicely together. I've marked where it needs to be trimmed off, and I've marked a line here and a line there, so I know which orientation it goes on this hose, because you have to make sure you get that right. This, I was placing an order today for some more hose and some connectors, etc. And I was saying to the guy, extremely helpful by the way, if you ever got a vintage air system, they are so helpful, the guys there. And this was the guy in the sales, and he knew a shitload of stuff. I'll put his name up in the description. I won't put his personal phone number up, but I'll just put the main number up for Vintage Air. It's a great system, by the way. Where was I going? Oh, yes, I was asking him about this hose and said, look, it really doesn't want to bend, does it? He said, oh, no. He said, we know that as the stubborn hose. So I'm working with stubborn hose. I thought I just married one. Oh, that sounds awful, doesn't it? Oh, well, too late now, I've said it. So, next is to take this out, put it in my little crimpy crimp. I don't know if I've shown you guys that. I will show you that. Give me a second. Okay, so this is a picture of what the kit should look like. It's not at the moment, purely because I've got my shit ready. This you can mount on the bench somewhere if you want to, and then it can sit in it permanently. I don't use it that often. In fact, after this job I won't be using it at all. I am going to be using set number 6. Set number 6, 5/16, and this is the chucks, bullets, whatever you want to call them, that have got to be used. You have various ones, different sizes. Let me show you how they work. Right, here are the slugs. I like that. That's a good word, slugs, that belong in the tool. Put in the bottom first, and then line up there and there. So now that is ready. What I do need to do is position this in to the chuck. But first we have to cut the hose. Right, now thing to note is you must cut this as straight as possible. I got these lovely little choppers that I got from Craftsman. Right, so there's my mark. Done. Reasonably straight. Now the next thing is to make sure that you get the orientation that you need and that you get this to go in. Now each of these has a little hole, and in that hole you can visualize, in other words you can see the end of the rubber hose. Now you may not be able to see it, but I can. I can see that I'm down to where I need to be. Now, next thing I got to do is make sure that I put this line that I've already marked on the hose. And it is hiding. Well, of course it's hiding. I pushed it in the bloody joint, didn't I? Right, there it is. Okay, now I know. Ah, no, that's not good enough. Hang on a sec. I can see it, but when it's in the hole, I can't. And you know what I mean. Right, so now let's do it again. Push it in. Now I can see the alignment. What you next need to do is get it in the crimping machine. Now that's hitting there, so that's no good. Hang on, I'm going to mark it again so that I can turn it. And if I could stop losing my pens, it would be really helpful. Come on, brain. Thank you. Right. Hang on a second. It's just that I have to turn it, and I'm not going to be able to see the marks are still in alignment with each other. Maybe that will help. We will see. Yeah, all right, let me get you lined up so that you can see what I can see. Right, so my two lines are in line. That is pretty darn good. You don't want to be right up on this edge because that will make it hard to crimp, but you don't want to be too far that way because that won't be right. Next, lower the jaws, put in the locking pin, and the hose drops and you've lost your alignment. Aha, he says. Alright, so hang on a second. First I need to slacken this off a bit. Bear with. Right, now I can get the locking pin in, hopefully. Right, locking pin in. Line this down. Now I know I've got my connection correct, but I know that the hose isn't. So now I can turn the hose, line up my marks again. Just gonna try and pinch this up. Sorry you're having to stare at my lovely face, but there you go. Let me just make sure that hose is all the way in. This is the only bit that's a real pain because you can't let the fucker move. And you got to keep tightening this now until the gaps here is 1/8 of an inch, I think it was. I tend to do it until I feel it's tight enough. And I'm not even going to go there. Now, do I know I'm being perfect? Nope. When will I find out? When I fill it full of Freon. Well, actually, no, before that. When I vacuum it. I'm looking pretty darn close to 1/8 of an inch. You just give it a last little peach. There we go. Now, I'll do this and show you what I've done. Now, I could have paid someone to do this, but then I'd have to have got every hose ready and every connection ready. It would have been a right nightmare, wouldn't it, huh? And then it wouldn't have been right, and I'd have been pissed. This way, the only person I can blame is me. Okay, that is no good. Pull out the pin, remove the chuck, and show the lovely crimping with the lines lining up perfectly with each other. So this can now go back into the car. Both ends are crimped off. It's ready to go into the car. Let me put it in and then I'll show you. Okay, here is the hose laid in position. Do note it is not yet fixed. It will be. Goes along there, around, up and through. Now, if we come inside the vehicle, there it is there. The next is to drill another hole in the bodywork here, roughly, with a grommet, and get some cables coming through this way. And there is I'm not sure if I've got to send some that way. What have I got to connect to? I've got to connect to the fan, and I've got to connect to the compressor. I've got the 3 wires coming in this direction. I'm going to need to send 2 wires in the other direction for the trinary switch that is on the dryer. Let me show you that so you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Yep, it's not there yet, but there's a trinary switch that goes there. What that does is it tells the fan on the condenser, hey, the AC's on, come to life. So it's a come to life moment. That's a pair of wires. Whew. I don't think I'm going to be able to get them all in here. Be nice if I could. Now that's heat shrink. This is heat shrink. I've got this wire that's got to go in there, plus 2 others. I might be able to do it. We will see. See, this was a kind of heat shrink, but I've used it all. Wow, sorry about the echo. I'm in my wheel arch. Next task is to drill holes, clip pipe, thusly. Make sure when I drill holes I don't drill through something on the other side. Yeah, get the wires through. I can't do the switch because I'm waiting for that to arrive. That probably won't be till next week now, which is a pisser, but there you go. Just gonna have to wait and suck it up, buttercup. Yep, all right. There we go. That's where we are up to today. Get out of my garage, go do some shit.